Welcome back to another edition of All Ball Chicago. I'm your host, Robert Bobby Reed on the Bleav Network. And I got the legend, the MVP veteran, the very great Marcus Liberty, your host. What's up, Marcus?
What's going on, man? I'm up here doing my George Mikan drill. My George Mikan. You know that? Remember that George Mikan drill, dude? Like everybody at the park, everybody was teaching that 1 foot, 1 leg up George Mikan drill, man. And George is from Chicago, I think, right?
Yeah, I think he's from Joliet. I seen his statue out there on Route 53.
Crazy,
Was
right?
Mikan, man. We had a lot of greats from Chicago. That's why this
Yeah,
show,
man.
All
Man.
Ball, is the Triznu.
All ball Chicago, man. We in the building. You already know, man.
Hey, man,
So
somebody
yeah,
told me the other day, I want to tell you right quick, though. They
okay.
was like, man, I saw this show, man. One of the guys, Jim Wiley, he actually lived in Atlanta. And he was like, man, I saw this show, man. Good show. He was like, and that brother Marcus is well spoken. I ain't know he could speak like that.
Oh man. Come on, man. It's amazing though, man, how people if you don't know someone, man, you think that because they came from inner city that they can't speak well and they can't talk and all this, man. I think that's crazy. But man,
No, I think it was more so that he never had a chance to meet you.
right.
So
It's
to see
crazy.
you later in the game, like accomplished speaker. So I think it was
But
more so that.
this what I was actually going to go to school for, man. I was going to go to school for speech communication, man. Syracuse had one of the biggest speech classes, and I was thinking about going there because of all of the greats that came out of Syracuse, man. I mean, Scott Stewart came out of there. I mean, it's a lot of great guys that you see on ESPN that came out of the university, Syracuse University, and that was one reason why I was going to attend that school for sure because of that.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, imagine that.
Imagine that, dude.
Imagine
So,
that.
so I used to say this, man. One way or another, I'm gonna be in an orange uniform. One way or another, man. I was gonna be in an orange uniform, man.
That's crazy, man. Well, let's dig into that. Me and you was talking, man, and it's been a lot going on with college basketball, and these young brothers, man, just basically put their life on the line for this game because they love it. And now you have graduating seniors where their season is basically a wash. There will be no more. It's over. What do you do about that, big timer?
Man, it's tough, Bob. Man, you really think these guys gave 4 years, man, of their basketball career, you know, into these universities or these institutions and wanting to make it to the NCAA tournaments or, get extra looks from NBA scouts and GMs and player personnels to get, that final look, if that final push. And then all of a sudden, the coronavirus situation came and it just put everything on hold. And some of these kids are not going to get an opportunity. So I think if I was somebody that had the power, the NCAA power, or something to make something for these kids to get the extra looks. I mean, maybe an agent. It could be a lot of things. An agent wants to see a kid work before they go out to try to represent the kid, or a team, or overseas. There's a lot of things that come into play. So if someone can like maybe form something and you can live stream it or get these seniors all together, you know, I don't care what it is. It can be, just doing drills and skills. This, live streaming it, like because we can't have more than 10, and we don't want to jeopardize any of the kids. But if you just do a skills workout and showing them doing skills and shooting, shooting competitions and stuff like that, maybe go one on one against each other or something, just to get them some more looks, man. It's just I was just thinking about this the other night, man. I'm like, man, we got to try to be creative and try to help because I don't know if they're going to be able to get that year back,
Yeah, that's what
So,
I'm thinking, man. Are they gonna just make it a wash? So I
yeah,
mean, you would prescribe. You would say get all the scenes together. Maybe in the Midwest you have a Midwest, and then you have a West Coast, then you have an East Coast, and then you let them compete against each other and live stream it. And then,
Yep.
yeah, like you say, yeah, you can separate it that way. That way, they don't have to do all the traveling. But
Yeah.
something has to be done, man. And I think that when we get off of this podcast, I think that me and you need to take action on that to try to make that happen for these young guys.
Yeah, man.
And you spearheaded down there in Florida. I could try down here in Chicago. See if we can get going, man.
Yeah, man. We're gonna need some, some help from one of these big time corporations, man, so we can make it, big for these for our seniors who didn't get the opportunity to finish their basketball college career. So if we can format something like that, um, I think that'll be huge, man. I think it'll be huge. So, with that being said, man, it's a lot of great seniors too, man. But we all know that most guys that get drafted into the NBA are underclassmen. It's just mind-boggling to me that a lot of seniors get overlooked. Because they put that work in and they stayed 4 years, they were dedicated. But now we know it is what it is. I mean, in today's game, that it's not about you being the best college player you can be. Is about the potential, what you can bring to the next level. So they look at the potential. These high school kids get ranked and nationally known and got all these social media followers. So all this come into play, man. And
Hold on. Social media followers, you think?
come on,
You
man.
think the coaches look at that? You
Come
think they
on,
look at
man.
that?
I ain't gonna say the coaches, but I'm gonna
I mean,
say
but
the personnel of, let's say, I'm just gonna throw a name out, the Chicago Bulls, right?
right.
If you got somebody that got over 5 million followers and you draft that kid, guess what those followers are gonna do?
They're gonna
They're
follow
gonna
him
want to
dead
come.
over there.
They're gonna want to come over there where you at. They're gonna buy all the apparel. They're gonna
Oh,
buy all the stuff. So it's a lot that goes along with this, man.
so
So
you have to build your brand,
come
really.
on, man. Come on, man. That's what it is.
Ah,
That's what it came. That's what it has came to. Because of the social media, the outlets that these kids have. Now you can get information from a kid, faster than they can get. ESPN can get it. So they can just plug their microphone up, get a camera, a video, and boom, it's on social media within seconds.
in
So
seconds, man.
so you can build your own brand, man. And I think a lot of these kids, like, Zion Williams, Zion Williams, he got, I don't know how many followers. I know it's in the millions.
Well, no doubt,
So,
no doubt. He probably got the more than anybody.
so he has a big following. So, I mean, you got to look at it, man. Like, it is what it is right now. You can't knock it. You got to join it. You got to,
You gotta join it, man, and you can't play it shy and be bashful.
I would
Man,
rather do that. I would rather do that anyway, man, because now you're in control of what's being put out
the
about you. So,
narrative.
yeah, if you're putting things out about yourself, that's you doing it. I mean, of
Mm-hmm.
course, you're gonna have people talking, saying some things about you on the internet and all that. I always tell people, man, people gonna do what they're gonna do, man. So just stay in your lane, know what you're trying to do, and keep it moving, man. Keep it moving.
So, what do you say to these guys, man, that's interested in coming out, and they're not going to be first round draft picks or second round draft pick. They may potentially land in the G League. What do you tell those guys, man?
I never ever want to crush anybody's dreams, right? Everybody have dreams to becoming a professional athlete, whether that's being in the NBA, G League, playing overseas, or you got a lot of other minor leagues or pro leagues just going around in each state that is an opportunity. These kids got a bunch of opportunities, so I would never knock on somebody who's trying to do that. But one thing I will tell you to do is do your homework.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't jump out there without doing some homework and trying to figure out some things before you make that wise decision. Well, that's a big decision. It's not just a wise decision, but it's a big decision because the NCAA, I know for this year, has changed the rules a little bit. I'm not gonna say change the rules, but since the coronavirus has came, I don't think you can test the waters now. I think it's either you got to put your name in all the way. That's what I've been hearing. So don't quote me all the way on this, but I'm assuming that's what they're talking about when they said you can't test the waters and then come back. You either got to put your name in there and go out and do it, or you can go through the NCAA, your college, and get evaluated, get an evaluation from the college. No, the college goes to the pros, and the pros evaluate your player, and then they give that information.
Oh.
They get that information back to you, and then you can make a decision after that because they have, I think, you can be a first rounder, second rounder, or you won't get drafted. They'll tell you that. They'll tell you that.
Oh, how that, woo!
And
That.
sometimes they go into details of why, but most of the time they're just telling you you're not ready yet.
Oh wow, yeah, that got to be a gut check right there, boy.
So I would tell anyone that's trying to come out, make sure you do your homework, make sure you understand the possibility. But then some people just know, I don't care. They basically saying, I'm done with college. I want to do this. So when I hear people say that, it's no talking. It's no talking you and telling you can't do it. You
Right.
already made your mind up, so that's where you at. And there's nothing wrong with that. As long as you're putting the work in. Now your road to get there may be a little different. Maybe you get drafted, maybe you don't. Maybe you have to go to the G League and work your way up and fight, and grind it out. Or you may not get that opportunity at all. So it's just something you have to live with. And if that's the decision that you made, the person made, and not somebody else, then man, I'm all for it, man.
Right.
Because you made that decision.
Yeah, you're right, man. And it's best to almost allow these young men to make their own decisions so they live with it themselves.
Yeah.
Because I'm an advocate for that. Like my sons, I don't force them dudes to do nothing. I'm like, okay.
I think that's part of growth, man. I mean, you see it. You give them, you spoon feed them a little bit of some of the stuff that you've been through, and then they hear it, and then they have to make their own decision off of what you told them and said, you know what, Dad, that was you, or Uncle, that was you. Now it's my time to make the wise decision that I would like to make, because it is what it is. If I don't make it, and if I do make it, then so be it. I'm gonna live with it.
And a lot of times, in most cases, those ones that be in between be the ones that just boom, just blow, man. You be like, dang,
I agree with you, Bob. I agree with you.
We look at a kid like Ja Morant who wasn't even on the radar as a freshman.
Think about that, man. This kid, Ja Morant, wasn't even on that high circuit. Coach saw him, fell in love with him, and the rest is history, man. That kid put the work in. You listen to him talk. I know plenty of kids like him. I got a chip on my shoulder. I'm going to keep this chip on my shoulder because of what happened to me or what didn't happen for me.
Right.
So he got that chip.
Right.
He said he's going to carry that all the way, not just to the NBA, after the NBA. So because he was always that second fiddle. He's like, man, I'm tired of being the second fiddle. I'm tired. I want to be the man. So in order for me to be the man, I got to keep putting that work in.
It's another kid. You might know him. He kind of remind me of Ja Morant. He puts me in the mind of him. He goes to Valparaiso. He's a 6'3" guy. He's a 6'3" guy. He had a good season this year. You might know him. A kid named Javon Freeman Liberty. He kind of puts me in the mind of that guy. What you think?
Man, similar situations, man. As far as the way he has to get to where he had to go. I mean, both of them went to a mid-major school. Ja Morant with the Murray State, Ohio Valley Conference. Javon is going to Valparaiso, Missouri Valley School. So it's kind of similar situations. I think Ja Morant came out as a point guard, and Javon is, two-way. He can play the point or the shooting guard. So
right.
They played Javon a little bit toward the end, more at the point, and saw what he started to do. He started doing a lot of great things. He needs that ball in his hands, Javon, and vice versa. He really can play, both ends, defensively and offensively, But I think the key to Javon making it to the NBA is playing at the point. He got to be a point guard to play at that next level.
I agree. It's always good to put the ball in the best player's hand anyway. And although when he go into the league, you're going to be on there with a lot of great guys, you don't bring a kid in like that and take him off the ball because it's just too much action off of the ball.
But you got to think about this, Bob, when we talking about kids that know the game, like Javon. I consider him knowing the game like in and out. inside out. He knows the game. Like he he studies, he knows how to make players move on defense and how to make that right pass. He just knows that. He's been taught that. And some of that was just in his DNA already. Like and some of the college coaches that I was talking to when they were recruiting him was like, I like his basketball IQ. That was everybody was big on that. They always said, man, that kid got a great IQ of the game. He understands how to make the right play at the right time. So I think if you give him like solid players, like in the NBA type players, elite type players, and man, shoot, the sky's the limit for that kid, man. So, and I'm not just saying that because he's my nephew. I see it. Every time I watch him play, I see him do things that I'm like, wow, that was a
That's what I'm
pro.
saying.
Wow,
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I watched him too, and
right?
in quite a few plays, I was like, damn,
Yeah,
like where that come from? You know what I'm saying? So when you have that, that definitely can carry over to the professional level, and it's all predicated on timing. We would say
time,
timing, and then being in the right situation.
right. That's
So,
right.
man, big ups to young Javon, man. He had a great monster season, and all these young
Yeah,
guys just trying to get it done, man. Just keep pushing at it.
yeah. And I'm gonna try to get him on the show one time, man, too, Javon, before the summer hits, man, so he get on here and talk. Just so he can help some young kids just go out there, man, make the wise decision and making sure to go to the right college and if you're not getting the looks, then maybe he can chime in on that and tell them what he did to get his mind off of not getting any looks to all of a sudden in 1 week getting 9 looks in offers. So we'll have him on one day, man. I'll definitely do that.
That's what's up, man. So we got to circle back to our beloved NBA now. Let's talk about the big boys. This coronavirus has affected the NBA, but I understand the Ice Cube is trying to do a coronavirus 3-on-3, where the players already been checked out and all of that stuff, and they're gonna play in the tournament. What do you think about that?
See, that's a new one on me. I knew Ice Cube is always, making moves, man, and some of the moves you don't even know they're coming, man. And
Right.
I think that's a great idea. It's kind of similar to what we was talking about, but he's doing it with the pros. But
Yeah.
um, I think, man, if everybody checks out, I mean, there's one thing I always say, man, and you see it too, man. People love sports.
Yeah.
It's a part of our upbringing. Watching games on television. A lot of it's like what Adam Silver said the other day. He was like, sports is a part of people's life, pretty much. When they come home, they want to turn on the television and watch some sports, and now
Mm-hmm.
they can't do that now, so that's why you see ESPN running all these old games and people like reminiscing, like, oh man, I remember Magic when he was doing that. I remember Mike when he was flying through the air. I remember this and that. They even showing LeBron James high school games.
Yeah, they've been showing all the McDonald games with
Man,
KG and all of them. I was
come on,
like,
man.
yeah,
So
let's go.
so they know. I mean, we know we like to have that. I'm not gonna say we need it, but we would love to have basketball or football or baseball or whatever sport it may be. We love to watch it, man, on television and cheer our teams on.
Well, I think in 2 weeks, man, we'll be right back, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
Okay, I was doing my research and I was looking at the cases of the coronavirus
Wait,
and
wait, wait,
how
wait,
it.
wait, 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 wait. Hold up, hold up. So we're gonna call you Dr. Reed?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, Dr. Reed,
I'm
Dr.
Dr.
Reed.
Reed. You're hearing it from Dr. Reed,
All
and
right.
I'm looking at statistically. Okay, they say China had 82,054 cases, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of those 82,000, 72,244 recovered. Dude,
Wow.
the deaths was 3,261. But when you look at those numbers, dude, 82,000, you got 72,000 recovered, 3,000 pass away. You still got another 4,000 recovering. I like our chances, big dog.
Man.
I like our chances for recovery, boy.
I hope you're right, Dr. Reed. I hope you're right.
I know I'm right. Chicago, first of all, America, they're not gonna fail us, man. First of all, come on now.
Yeah, but man, you know what? It's a lot of people just taking hits though, man, from this right now because of the corporations are shutting down and people are losing their jobs, man. People who, I mean, there's a lot of Americans, man, may on the outside, it may look that they're doing well, right? But on the inside, they living paycheck to paycheck, so they need those checks, man. I think they are getting paid, some of them, from because they can work from home. But I'm talking about the ones that's actually got laid off. You
Right.
know, what are they going to do? You
They'll
know,
get it. They you know what? They're gonna prove all that stuff, man. They're not gonna leave nobody unturned, man.
I
I've been
hope
watching
so.
it. I've been watching our governor, the governor of Illinois, Pritzker, and they're
Yeah,
not playing around, man. They're gonna make sure people eat, and they got food banks and all of that stuff. So I think it's gonna be up to the individual to seek out this information.
right,
But in the
right,
big scheme of things, yeah, I just was looking at that. That was damn that 90% turnaround rate over there on that. 82,000, 72,000 get well. And I
right.
know this is, I mean, but dang, come on now. That's a lot.
Wow,
And then America we only got like 15,000 confirmed cases throughout the whole entire America.
right.
And of those 15,000, 142 people died, something like that. No, 300 died and 142 still in recovery.
Wow.
So I like our numbers. So I just wanted to touch on that a little bit so we can get our sports mind back intact and get ready for the NBA. You know,
Right, right. I got a question, man. I want to see if you know, and then try to just dive into it, man. Who won the most NCAA titles, Division One titles, NCAA?
I
Who
would
won
say
them?
probably North Carolina.
You think North Carolina?
Yeah.
Uh,
No. You know what? It's in between North Carolina and UCLA.
I would say UCLA, man. UCLA. I mean, because you got to think of all of the great players back in the day that came out of UCLA. I think Kareem, I want to say either won three or four.
Like one of all while he was there,
You know
right?
what I'm saying? So you got to think, man. That's four right there. I want to say they won at least 11 or 12, 11 or 12 championships. And I know Kentucky might have been right next to them because Kentucky was winning a lot back in the day, too.
Well, I know. I was thinking Kentucky. I don't know. Let's see, man.
Go ahead and look it up on your phone right quick, man.
I absolutely just did, and we got it right here. UCLA got 11 national
I
championships.
told you, 11. I told you. I told you. Kentucky, I think, is right behind them.
Oh man, let's see. Let's see who we got. Who got the most though?
I think Kentucky had 8 or 9 because
Wow.
I remember hearing that back in the day.
And that was in the modern era too when they got those, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, UCLA they got 11, but their last one came in 1995. Was that
That's
with Ed
crazy.
O'Bannon now?
That's crazy, right?
That's crazy.
The O'Bannon boys, them boys were bad too, boy. Them boys were
Yeah,
bad, man.
yeah. And then you got Kentucky with 8, and their last one was in 2012. North Carolina got 6, Duke got 5, Indiana got 5, Connecticut got 4, Kansas got 3, Villanova got 3,
That's
Cincinnati
it.
got 2, Florida got 2, Louisville got 2, Michigan State got 2, North Carolina State got 2, Oklahoma State got 2. Then everybody else 1, 1, 1, 1, 1.
See what I'm talking about? So back in the day, you remember when you was a shorty, UCLA and Kentucky was always on television.
Mm-hmm.
They were always on television, man, on CBS. I remember always watching them play. And I'm like, man, UCLA, Reggie Miller. You know, I remember watching Reggie Miller, Pooh Richardson. I mean, I remember watching those games, man. And then, Kentucky with Sam Bowie, and all those great basketball players that came out of Kentucky. Rex
That's
Chapman.
that blue blood.
Man,
That's
come
the
on,
blue
man.
blood schools, right?
So I remember watching those games, man.
But how did it feel to play in them gyms, though, big dog? Come on now. You played in them
Well,
damn buildings, man.
I never played in UCLA arena, but I've been there. I've been
Have
there.
you played in North Carolina?
Nope,
Y'all
never
didn't play
played.
North Carolina? What's
They
the
did, but they did the year before I got there.
okay?
They
So
did at North Carolina too.
what's
They
the
played
biggest
that.
one you played at?
I mean, playing in the Big Ten, you played in all of the
The
arenas,
big ones, right?
but we played at Florida. I mean,
Okay,
we went to LSU, played
okay.
at LSU. Man, it was crazy. I'll tell you a story about playing at LSU, man. I know because this is all ball Chicago,
It's
so we
all
just
ball,
talking,
man.
man. We just be talking.
And
So,
plus, it ain't no sports.
yeah,
What you want?
you guys remember, you remember Chris Jackson, right?
Mahmoud Raouf, baby.
Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, my guy 100, right? So we about to play them, so we got there early, of course, we walking through the malls and, in LSU on Louisiana campus. And I remember we walking through the mall as a team with our Illinois gear on. And man, some dude came out of nowhere. He said, "You guys are from?" He said, "You guys are from Illinois?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Man, Chris Jackson is the best thing since Pete Maravich around here. He gonna whoop your ass." I'm like, "Whoa, oh, oh, man." So that's what kind of power, star power, that Mahmoud Abdul Rauf had on that campus, man, that they loved that kid. They mentioning him in the same breath as Pete Maravich.
And Pete Maravich being the all-time leading scorer in the NCAA still to this day.
Yeah. So, man, I'm like, wow. He didn't just say that. So that kind of lit a fire up under us. Like, man, they must think we a joke. Like we coming down here and about to get smoked. To make a long story short, we ended up beating them by like 20 points, man.
Who was on this team?
Um,
Shaq was
we had our
gone.
we had our crew. Shaq wasn't even there yet.
Right, Shaq wasn't there yet.
Shaq wasn't there yet. I mean, you can imagine if the big fella was there. but no, it was Chris. It was just really Chris, man.
Right.
I think
What
I
he
don't
ended
even
up
know.
with? About 30?
I want to say he had 28 maybe, and he fouled out with like 7 minutes left in the game.
Oh, he was sick.
and when I say that boy was all that and some, he was, man. Like he was lightning quick, man. Very explosive with his jump. It's going up to his pull-ups with his jump shots, man. Very explosive, man. Man, I was like, yeah, I'm glad I don't have to check that dude, man. Can
That
you imagine,
crossover
man, that crossover, man, that he has?
off the dribble too.
Man,
As soon as
dude,
it come up, it's off the dribble. It's a bucket. You can count it,
bucket.
and it ain't touching nothing. If it touched the rim, it don't count.
It doesn't count. It doesn't count, man. That's what kind of player he was. And you see it, man. Like I think the NBA, he didn't get his just due because of the situation that happened with him not standing for what he believed in. I mean, he was believing in something that he believed in, and he didn't want to, jeopardize that. So he, did what he had to do, and I think he got, blackballed for that, man, because of it. I don't think he would ever come out to say it, but this all ball Chicago, man. We can talk about that, but I just think, man, they missed out on because he was like Steph Curry. What you see what Steph Curry's doing, Mahmoud Abdul Rauf was doing that, man, back in high school. I mean, I know people that knew him in high school and said he was giving people the business, scoring 50, 40 points, 50 points in high school. So he was putting on that type of, show, and he did it in college. NBA, it's just what happened to him in that situation, man. It's saddened to me because this young man, Chris Jackson at the time, had a bright future, man, to do a lot of great things, and I think it was cut short because of that, because of what he believed in.
But that man had a 40-inch vertical.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
6'2" at best on a good day with a 40-inch.
If you really think about this, Bob, let's think about this, right? Most of those guys come from the South, Mississippi. They got all that land, man, to and hills to
Right.
run up. So I used to talk to actually it was Lindsey Hunter at the time. I was talking to his dad at the time, and he said he used to put a rope around his waist and a big old tire, and he would have to run up that hill with the tire up about 10, 15 times up. You
Mm-hmm.
know how strong your legs has to be to do that, man?
Yeah.
And he was a guard,
Yeah.
you know.
Trust me,
So
I know. I've seen it. I saw the whole transition. I witnessed the whole thing. Yeah, the
so
boy got
that's why
strong.
so that's why when you hear people talk about South, the South, they say the South have some athletes. It's because of that stuff, man, that they do. Like in the boxing world, they say, even the wide receivers down there, they say they be out here chasing rabbits
Mm-hmm.
down south,
Yeah,
chasing
they. I mean,
rabbits,
they
man.
actually they actually work on actual farms down there.
Yeah,
Those
man.
farms still on there. So yeah, man. And then they eating good. They got the great fresh food, man. So conditioning ain't
So
never been no problem.
so I didn't heard people say things about, you know, up the road from here. I'm in Sarasota, but up the road in Fort Myers of how, certain guys would would go out here and their job was to catch a rabbit. They had to catch it. They couldn't come back without it. And these guys are, man, your footwork and your speed and your agility, your quickness had to be off the charts to catch a rabbit. And these guys come back with the rabbit, man. Come on, man.
Well, I can honestly speak to when I stayed at Jackson State for 5 years, man. Like I wasn't dunking like that here in Chicago, but when I got down there with them boys and all that working out and all that, man, I was dunking like a mug. I was like, because it was little bitty dudes in there dunking, bouncing,
Oh
and hitting
yeah.
the back of the head. I'm like, I said, man, let me get my game right, because in Chi-Town, all we want to do is shake and bake you. But down south, you would get dunked on by a 5'2" dude, man, on the
Yeah.
break,
And
man.
they
So
and the South wanted respect too, man. They I think they just never got their just due on the basketball side. On every other sport, I think they had they just due, like football and baseball. But basketball, they never really got their just due until this social media era came where you can actually just go on social media and look at certain players. But back
yeah,
then, the media wasn't really like covering the South on the basketball side like they do in, up north. So I think that helped down south kids get better looks when social media hit.
yeah, because we might talk a lot of trash about Chicago being this, that, and the other, but hey, man, right now nowadays, man, kids are coming from all over the place playing ball, dude. You got kids playing in doggone Albuquerque, New Mexico. Some little kid right now up there, man. He the next Michael. They just coming from all over the place. So all ball Chicago, man. We gonna put y'all out here. But I wanted to say this before we get up out of here. Me and Liv, we trying to do this, man. We gonna try to do this for these seniors, man. So if there's anybody interested in jumping on board with All Ball Chicago, Marcus Liberty, the host, co-host Robert Bobby Reed, to get these seniors, man, in the Midwest, West Coast, Northeast, all that, get them an opportunity to get a look. We want to do that, man. We want to do the stream for them. So count us in, right, Liv? We in?
Yeah, man, and they can hit us on social media, man. If you got some ideas too, and you want to be a part of it too, you think you can help enhance it, bringing your flavor to it, man. Feel free to drop us inbox us on our social media page. Mine, the Twitter is Give Me Liberty 30. So make sure you can drop that, and if you got some more ideas of how we can make this happen, man, let's do it, man, because they need it, man. I
They
think the
need it,
seniors,
man.
they need this, man, and if we can help them, man, I think it'll be great.
The senior showcase by All Ball Chicago with your host Robert Bobby, your co-host Robert Bobby Reed, and the host Marcus Liberty. Man, this was one for the ages, man. We're looking at the clock, man. It's time for us to pack it in, man. So you got anything else you want to leave with the people on the shake and bake side?
Man, it's time for me to do the killer crossover and take these shoes off, man, because these things are hurting my feet, boy. Oh man, my foot is killing me, dog. It's time for me to unlace the shoe.
Hey, Liv, it's always a pleasure doing the show with you. Bleav Network, we appreciate it once again. Great show, Marcus Liberty, man. We'll holler back, big baby.
I holla. One love, my beautiful people.
Peace.